we maintain our aid level at the same level. We are among the few countries providing more than the UN target of 0.7%. We will maintain that. But we are working very hard now to find extra sources, because aid is not enough. Aid can catalyze development. And therefore we need to have other partners, in particular private investors. We're talking, and you see an interest in Danish business life, for instance. The institutional investors, pension schemes and so on. We have cooperation with these investors, and they're very interested in finding good projects in Africa. They know they can find them. There's a lot of thinking that a number of African countries will be the second or third wave of the emerging economies. Yeah. And actually you see today in Denmark, I think in Europe as well, business saying we want to be part of that. Yeah. And that is what we can do with the aid, try to catalyze such a development.
I mean, the African Development Bank has for 2011's fiscal year 70% of its total budget dedicated to infrastructure. They've identified that as the major pressing need in Africa. As a governor sitting on the board, is that the only need? What else would you like to see them do?
We would like to see them still be strong on energy and infrastructure, but we would like to see them also focus on how can we support creation of enabling environment for private sector development and spurring economic growth. And that is what we are discussing now. I come right from the meeting where we're sitting and discussing how can we do that, what do we have of good what do we have of experience that tells us what to do. And in particular, I think the bank should be much more active in the kind of policy dialogue that we need to have with the partners, the different governments. Yeah. So it's not enough just to come with money, not even for infrastructure projects, even though they're very important, but you need to have the dialogue so you make sure that the policies pursued by the government in questions, they are supporting economic growth.
I mean, obviously you're working with the AfDB, so it's a collaboration here, but independently as Denmark, what could you do to help foster this pressing need for a dynamic private sector? We're seeing, for instance, the Chinese changing their approach. They've launched $10 billion worth of a development fund for SMEs. They're very clear that this is the area that they're going to be targeting.
But we're working kind of in the same direction. We're still having our rather huge aid budget. We are focusing in our cooperation with African countries, African partners. But as I said before, we're working a lot with Danish business, with international business. We actually have funded together with the African Bank and the Spanish government establishment of an African guarantee fund, which will provide finance to guarantee for loans from ordinary, so to speak, banks and so on. Especially geared towards small and medium-sized enterprises. This is where you can really get a payoff in terms of employment, in terms of growth. Right.